The ending of IRE verbs in Italian can be tricky sometimes. That's why in today's lesson I want to give you some useful tips to conjugate these Italian verbs. Ciao and welcome to this new video. My name is Giulio and I teach Italian. When you first start learning Italian, it seems overwhelming because you have to learn hundreds of new nouns, adjectives and verbs. As for verbs, you probably know already that the Italian language has 3 different conjugations. This means that you have verbs ending in are, like parlare, verbs ending in ere, like credere, and verbs ending in ire, like dormire or finire. Today I want to talk specifically about the verbs belonging to this last conjugation, so ire, which are a bit particular verbs because, unlike other conjugations, they can have 2 different types of conjugation. For example, let's take the verb dormire and let's conjugate it. Io dormo, tu dormi, lui, lei dorme, noi dormiamo, voi dormite, loro dormono. This is the first type of conjugation you can have when you conjugate verbs in ire. And it's very similar to the one of ere verbs, because if you take the verb credere, the endings are very similar. Io credo, tu credi, lui, lei crede, noi crediamo, voi credete, loro credono. But this is not the only conjugation you have when using verbs in ire. If you take the verb finire, for example, you see that the conjugation is completely different. So it is io finisco, tu finisci, lui, lei finisce, noi finiamo, voi finite, loro finiscono. As you can see, the verb endings are different because before we had a regular ending with just a vowel, like dormo. In this case, I have a ish sound, so it's not o, but I say finisco. You can also notice that the first and second plural person don't follow the ish rule, but they are exactly like the ones in dormire. Dormiamo, dormite, finiamo, finite. But the question is, how do I know if a ire verb ends in o, like dormo, or in isco, like finisco? Most of the verbs ending in ire usually use this second ending, but unfortunately there isn't a specific grammar rule to understand if a verb belongs to the first or the second group. However, there is a trend that almost always turns out to be right and that you can follow. Have a look at the second letter before the ending ire and ask yourself, is it a consonant or a vowel? Well, verbs which have consonants usually have a shorter ending, so dormo, dormi, dorme. Verbs which have a vowel as a second letter before the ending ire instead tend to have a longer ending in isco, so capisco, capisci, capisce. I give you a list of the most important ire verbs and then we make some examples. Partire, sentire, offrire, dormire, aprire. Parto per l'Italia la settimana prossima. Senti questo strano rumore? Ti offro un caffè al bar. I bambini dormono 9 ore a notte. Apriamo la porta e usciamo di casa. Let's take some verbs from the other group, the ISC group. Finire, capire, pulire, preferire, reagire. Quando finisco di lavorare, vado a casa. Capisco l'italiano, ma non lo parlo bene. Puliscono la casa tutti i sabati. Preferisci la pasta o la pizza? Il paziente reagisce bene alla cura. So as you can see, you can have two different categories of verbs when using the conjugation IRE, and the verbs ending in ISC are the most common ones. Pay attention because there are also irregular verbs ending in IRE. For example, uscire, which is esco, esci, esce, usciamo, uscite, escono. So it doesn't follow any of the two categories of verbs. Or for example, dire, io dico, tu dici, lui, lei dice, noi diciamo, voi dite, loro dicono. Venire, io vengo, tu vieni, lui, lei viene, noi veniamo, voi venite, loro vengono. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. Make sure you write an example in the comments down below to practice this type of verbs. Try to use both the two categories of verbs. I hope this lesson was useful and I see you next time. Ciao and enjoy your study.